Prometheus floated above the dark expanse of space, its glowing shields reflecting faint starlight. The alien fleet had retreated temporarily, but Captain Layla Torres and her crew knew this was only a pause. The enemy was powerful, but humanity had learned something crucial. They could adapt, they could fight strategically, and they could turn fear into courage. "Captain," Lieutenant Patel said, scanning the fleet through long-range sensors, "they're regrouping farther out. Their drones are scattered, their capital ships are isolated, and their main weapons are cooling down. This is our chance." Lila nodded, her eyes sharp. "Prepare for a counteroffensive. We are not just defending Earth. We are showing the galaxy that humans are a force to be respected. Target key systems, but maintain our integrity. We do not destroy indiscriminately. We strike with precision and purpose." Dr. Amir Khan studied alien energy patterns, analyzing the weaknesses Prometheus had discovered in previous battles. Their shields are still strong, but their coordination is weak. Their drones no longer act as a single unit. If we move strategically, we can disable a significant portion of their fleet without destroying all their ships. That will send a message. "Then let's make them remember Earth," Lila said, determination ringing in her voice. Prometheus moved like a predator, cutting through the void with calculated speed. Its engines glowed, leaving faint trails of light while its weapons hummed softly, ready to strike. The crew worked in seamless harmony, anticipating every maneuver, every possible counterattack. They had trained for years, but now the stakes were real, and their training showed in perfect execution. The alien fleet, surprised by Prometheus's aggression, struggled to adapt. Their drones were scattered and disorganized, and their capital ships hesitated, unsure how to respond. For the first time, hesitation appeared in their calculated strategies. Humanity's boldness had created a tactical advantage that could not be ignored. "Captain, multiple drone clusters detected approaching from the starboard side," Lieutenant Chen reported. "Divert shields and fire interceptors," Lila ordered. "Do not engage unnecessarily. Focus on disabling rather than destroying. Humanity fights with intelligence, not mindless aggression." Prometheus fired precise energy bursts, striking the drones at weak points. Explosions flared, sending fragments tumbling into space. Alien ships staggered under the pressure, and their coordinated patterns began to collapse. The humans had turned the tide once again, not through raw power, but through clever tactics and strategic precision. Dr. Khan monitored the alien energy flow. "Their central command vessels are now isolated. If we target the links controlling drone coordination, we can force a larger retreat. They cannot adapt fast enough to counter it." "Then that is our target," Lila said firmly. "Focus fire on the command links. Use synchronized energy pulses. Timing is everything." The crew executed the plan flawlessly. Concentrated beams struck the alien command links simultaneously, causing a chain reaction that disrupted drone control across the fleet. Small ships collided or spun helplessly, while larger vessels staggered, their shields flickering under the pressure. The alien commanders, stunned by this display, tried to regroup, but the humans' precision and adaptability left them one step behind. "Captain, their main cannon is inactive for repairs," Patel shouted. "We have a clear advantage." "Maintain focus," Lila said. "We strike with intelligence, not recklessness. Target systems that disable, not destroy. Show them our strength without annihilating unnecessarily." The counteroffensive continued. Prometheus struck with calculated precision, disabling engines, communication arrays, and weapon systems. The aliens, shocked by the humans' ingenuity, could only respond defensively. Their confidence had been shaken. Their assumption of easy victory had been completely shattered. Back on Earth, people watched in awe. Cities erupted in cheers. Schools broadcasted live feeds, and families gathered in their homes, eyes fixed on the screens. Humanity was not only surviving, the warship Prometheus was actively challenging a technologically superior enemy and winning. Dr. Hana Saito turned to her colleagues. "Look at them. They expected fear, panic, and surrender. Instead, they are facing an intelligent, creative, and determined species. The humans have stunned them. The aliens are rethinking every calculation they made before arriving here." Dr. Khan nodded. "And that is exactly what we wanted. Our goal was never just survival. It was to demonstrate that humans are clever, courageous, and united. Prometheus is proving that beyond technology, the human spirit is a force to be reckoned with." Above the alien fleet, Confusion and hesitation spread. Their ships no longer moved with precise coordination. Drones collided, capital ships faltered, and energy pulses misfired. Prometheus, exploiting every opportunity, continued to strike at critical systems while evading counterattacks. The humans had shown not only resilience but intelligence beyond what the aliens expected from a planet of inferior beings. "Captain, they are retreating further," Chen reported, almost in disbelief. "Their formation is collapsing. Drones are scattered and major ships are moving defensively." "Good," Lila said. "Maintain pressure but do not overextend. We have made our point. Humanity fights with skill, strategy, and unity. We will remind them that Earth cannot be taken easily." The alien commanders, observing the humans' tactics, began to communicate among themselves with patterns that suggested caution and analysis. They had encountered other civilizations before, but none had displayed this combination of courage, ingenuity, and adaptability. The humans' approach was unpredictable, precise, and relentless, leaving the aliens stunned. "Captain," Patel said, "they are trying to regroup, but their drones are still scattered, and their capital ships are isolated. We have created a lasting disruption. Then we consolidate our position," Lila said. "Hold the fleet at bay but remain ready. They will not give up easily. Humanity must always be prepared." Prometheus circled the retreating fleet, shields glowing and weapons ready. The warship had not destroyed the aliens entirely. It had not needed to. The humans' display of strategy, skill, and courage was enough to force respect and hesitation. The aliens had learned a critical lesson. Earth was not a weak, defenseless planet. Humans were resourceful, united, and capable of extraordinary feats when defending their home. On Earth, celebrations were tempered with awareness. Scientists, military leaders, and citizens recognized the importance of what had just occurred. Humanity had survived a confrontation with an overwhelmingly powerful fleet. Humanity had disrupted enemy coordination. Humanity had demonstrated intelligence, courage, and determination. Dr. Khan addressed the team aboard Prometheus. "This is more than victory, it is recognition. The aliens now see us differently. They respect our ingenuity, and that respect is a weapon in itself. Humanity has shown the galaxy that it cannot be underestimated." Lila smiled at her crew. "We have done what many said was impossible. But remember, this is only the beginning. We must remain vigilant, adaptable, and ready for whatever comes next. We have shown our strength, but the galaxy is vast and challenges will continue." Prometheus remained in orbit, ready for the next stage of humanity's defense. The alien fleet, now hesitant and cautious, had learned that force alone could not conquer this planet. They had witnessed the brilliance of human strategy and the unwavering courage of the crew aboard Earth's ultimate warship. Dr. Saito looked at the live feed from Prometheus. "The aliens are stunned, not just by technology but by the humans themselves. They did not expect intelligence, creativity, and unity to be so powerful." Dr. Khan nodded. "Exactly. Humanity's strength is not only in weapons but in the mind and spirit. Prometheus represents the very best of us, our courage, our ingenuity, and our determination to protect our home." As night fell over Earth, lights twinkled across cities and towns. People gazed at the sky with pride, hope, and awe. Humanity had not only survived, it had proven itself. The warship Prometheus had shown the galaxy that Earth's defenders were capable, clever, and courageous. In space, Prometheus glowed against the darkness, a symbol of human resilience. Its shields flickered softly, its weapons ready, and its crew prepared for whatever lay ahead. The counteroffensive had demonstrated that humans were not weak, that they could challenge a far superior force, and that the spirit of Earth was stronger than any technology. The alien fleet, still regrouping in the distance, now approached with caution. They had learned the first lesson. Humans were unpredictable, intelligent, and courageous. They could not be taken lightly. The galaxy had seen Earth's might, and it had been shocked. Prometheus drifted above the planet, ready for the battles yet to come. Humanity had proven itself, and the aliens had been given a clear message. Earth fights with precision, intelligence, and courage. No force, no matter how advanced, would take this planet without encountering resistance unlike any they had faced before. And in that moment, humanity understood something vital. Technology alone was not the ultimate weapon. Spirit, determination, courage, and unity were just as powerful. and Earth possessed them in abundance. The counteroffensive had succeeded. The aliens had been stunned, and humanity had shown the galaxy its true strength. The world was no longer the same. The sky carried a faint, unnatural glow from the alien fleet hovering beyond Earth's atmosphere. Every city, every town, and every small village could see the distant shapes of massive ships. Fear still gripped people, but it was now mixed with something else: determination. In her lab, Dr. Lena Ortiz was exhausted but focused. Days and nights had merged into a continuous blur of calculations, coding, and analysis. Around her, her team worked tirelessly, calibrating devices, running simulations, and testing theories. The signal reversal unit, their hope for humanity, was nearly ready. "We have to act soon," Lena said, looking at the holographic map of the alien fleet. "Every hour they stay in orbit, more people are at risk. But we have an advantage. They think they are unstoppable. They don't know us." Her assistant Raj frowned. "Do you really think our small devices can stop them? They have weapons far beyond anything we've ever built." Lena gave him a steady look. "It's not just about weapons, Raj, it's about unpredictability. They expect fear. They expect surrender. But humans think, create, adapt, and that makes us dangerous." Outside, ordinary people were proving her point. In rural China, farmers had built makeshift shields to protect communities from alien probes. In Canada, a group of teenagers used old drones and cameras to map alien patrols in the sky. Everywhere, humans were finding ways to resist, small but effective, turning fear into action. The world's governments had put aside old rivalries to form the Earth Defense Coalition. Military leaders, scientists, and civilians worked together, pooling knowledge, technology, and resources. Space agencies from multiple countries collaborated on plans to defend cities, satellites, and critical infrastructure. The first test of humanity's new strategy came unexpectedly. A small squadron of fighter jets, retrofitted with experimental energy dampeners, launched toward a scouting alien ship near the orbit of the moon. The pilots were nervous. They had never faced an enemy like this. Their mission was not to destroy, but to confuse. Lieutenant Cara Mendez, leading the squad, could feel her heart pounding. "Everyone ready?" she asked over the comms. "Ready," came the reply, voices tight with tension but filled with resolve. The alien ship hovered silently, sensors scanning the area. But the humans, using the signal reversal unit, sent a pulse that interfered with the alien systems. Lights flickered across the alien hull. Sensors went blank. And in those moments of confusion, the human squadron darted through the blind spots, returning safely to orbit. "Small victory," Kara said, breathing heavily. "But it proves something. They can be disrupted." Back on Earth, Lena and her team analyzed the data from the mission. Every flicker, every moment of confusion was a step toward understanding the alien fleet. They discovered that the aliens relied heavily on rigid patterns in their movements and communications. That rigidity made them vulnerable to human unpredictability. News of the small victory spread quickly. Civilians cheered, governments issued cautious statements of hope, and scientists everywhere shared Lena's findings. Humanity was learning that fear could be turned into courage, and that courage could become strategy. Even as hope grew, the cost of the alien attacks remained clear. Cities had been damaged, millions were displaced, and the loss of life weighed heavily on every person. But the world began to fight back, not blindly, but with intelligence and planning. In Brazil, engineers in São Paulo modified old satellites to act as relay points for communication between Earth's cities. In Russia, hackers disrupted alien transmissions, creating gaps in their monitoring systems. In Kenya, teachers organized children into safe zones and taught them basic survival skills. Every person in every corner of the globe was contributing to a resistance that no alien could have predicted. The aliens, meanwhile, seemed confused. Their broadcasts continued, but the messages of terror were no longer as effective. Humans were resisting, and the resistance was spreading like wildfire. Lena's team had another breakthrough. By analyzing the alien communication patterns, they realized that the signal reversal unit could do more than confuse sensors. It could redirect attacks. A missile meant to destroy a city could be misdirected, sparing lives. Energy beams could be reflected back, temporarily disabling small alien ships. The technology was crude, but it worked. "We can save people," Lena said quietly to her team. "We can turn their weapons against them." It's not much, but it's a start. The first real use of this technology was in New Delhi. A massive alien probe aimed a destructive beam at the city's center. Using the signal reversal unit, scientists redirected the beam harmlessly into the sky. People in the streets cheered, tears streaming down their faces. For the first time, humans had seen the alien threat fail, even for a moment. It was not enough to win the war, but it was enough to change the spirit of humanity. People were no longer only afraid. They were fighting back, learning, adapting. In the corridors of the United Nations, leaders spoke with urgency. "This is not a time to retreat," said Secretary General Patel. "This is a time to unite, to innovate, and to show that humanity will not be defeated. Every person, every skill, every idea matters," and the people responded. Civilians worked with scientists to develop faster communication networks. Engineers built improvised defenses in cities, and ordinary citizens risked their lives to save others. Humanity was fighting not just with weapons but with courage, creativity, and determination. Dr. Lena Ortiz watched it all unfold. She knew the path ahead would be difficult. The aliens were still powerful, and the loss of life was staggering. But she also knew that humanity had something the aliens could never understand: the human spirit. Aboard a small research station orbiting Earth, Lena's team prepared for the next phase of their plan. They would send a small fleet of modified ships to create disruptions in the alien formation. While on the ground, civilians and military forces would continue to build defenses and save lives. "It's not just about technology," Lena said, addressing her exhausted team. "It's about people. It's about every person who refuses to give up, who finds a way to fight back, who protects others even when fear is all around them. That is our strength." The next day, as dawn broke over Earth, humans launched coordinated efforts across the planet. From small towns to major cities, humans were using every resource at their disposal to protect each other. The alien fleet, once a symbol of unstoppable power, now faced something it had never encountered before. A world united, unpredictable, and unbreakable. In New York, Lena watched the live feeds showing these acts of courage. People were sharing food, helping the wounded, building barricades, and sending warnings. Across the world, humanity was learning to fight back together, and then the first major counterattack began. A small squad of human ships using the signal reversal unit targeted a group of alien drones attacking a coastal city. The drones were confused, disoriented, and malfunctioning. Humans on the ground seized the opportunity, evacuating people from danger zones. Lieutenant Cara Mendez led the mission with precision. "Remember," she said, her voice steady, "we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are showing the universe that Earth is not helpless. Every move counts." The mission succeeded. Not a single life was lost in that city, and the aliens were forced to retreat temporarily. It was a small victory in the grand scale of the war, but it was a victory nonetheless. Lena smiled, exhausted but proud. Humanity was proving that strength was not only in weapons or technology, but in courage, creativity, and unity. The aliens had underestimated humans, and that mistake would cost them dearly. As night fell over the planet, lights from every city flickered like stars, a reminder that Earth was alive and its people were not broken. The aliens had come to instill fear, but they had awakened something far stronger: the determination of a species unwilling to be conquered. And so, as humans prepared for the battles to come, one truth became clear: Earth would fight back. Not with blind rage, but with intelligence, courage, and a fury that could not be contained. The signal reversal unit hummed quietly in Lena's lab, ready for the next mission. Humanity's first strikes were successful, but the war was far from over. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the alien fleet watched, realizing for the first time that Earth was not a planet to be taken lightly. For the first time, humans believed they could win. The alien fleet hovered above Earth like a dark cloud, a constant reminder of the danger that humanity faced. Cities buzzed with preparation, and soldiers and civilians alike knew that each day could bring another attack. Yet, in the midst of fear, a strange sense of determination spread across the planet. Humans were learning that survival depended not only on weapons but on ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability. Dr. Lena Ortiz was up before dawn, scanning satellite feeds for any sign of alien movement. The signal reversal unit had given humanity its first victories, but it was only a tool. The real strength lay in the human mind. its ability to improvise, adapt, and create solutions where none seemed possible. "Lena, you need to see this," Raj called from the main console. A group of drones had intercepted an alien probe over the Pacific Ocean. Unlike the larger ships, the probe was small, quick, and hard to track. Yet humans had found a way to turn even this threat into an advantage. On the screen, the drones darted around the probe, broadcasting interference signals. The probe wavered, its sensors failing to track the drones. Then it did something unexpected. It turned away, retreating toward the alien fleet. The first human-controlled maneuver that forced an alien retreat was now history in the making. "Every small victory counts," Lena said, her voice calm but resolute. "The aliens rely on fear and predictability. If we act differently, they cannot control the battle." Elsewhere across the globe, humans were proving her words true. In the deserts of Saudi Arabia, engineers had converted old mining vehicles into armored transport to evacuate towns threatened by alien attacks. In the mountains of Chile, climbers used high-altitude radios to relay messages between remote communities, creating a communication network that the aliens could not detect. In the crowded streets of Manila, civilians built barricades and improvised shelters to protect those trapped in urban centers. Even in space, human ingenuity shone. Lieutenant Cara Mendez led a squadron of fighter pilots on a reconnaissance mission near the moon. Their goal was simple: confuse the alien drones, gather intelligence, and return safely. Yet what they achieved went beyond expectation. Using a combination of quick maneuvers and signal reversal technology, the squadron managed to disable several drones, collecting vital data about alien tactics and communication. On the ground, scientists in Europe and Asia analyzed the data, discovering an extraordinary quirk in humans that the aliens could not account for. Unlike machines, humans were unpredictable in their behavior. Every decision, every improvisation introduced variables that the alien sensors and algorithms could not anticipate. This unpredictability was becoming humanity's greatest weapon. "This is it," Lena said to her team, pointing at the data. "Our advantage isn't technology alone. It's creativity, courage, and the ability to think differently. The aliens may have power, but they lack flexibility, and flexibility is what humans have in abundance." The news of human successes spread quickly. Communities began sharing ideas on how to protect themselves and others. Children were taught to use simple signals to warn of approaching drones. Farmers created camouflage for villages. In some cities, civilians adapted public transportation systems to move people away from danger zones quickly. Every act, large or small, contributed to a growing network of human resistance. But the aliens were not passive. They adapted, using psychological tactics to instill fear. Broadcasts threatened further destruction, showing cities destroyed in ways designed to break human morale. Yet, even in the face of such terror, humans responded differently than the aliens expected. Fear became determination, loss became motivation, and innovation became their shield. One notable story emerged from Lagos, Nigeria. A young engineer named Adebayo had modified a set of old drones to act as decoys. During an attack on the city, the drones drew alien fire away from civilian areas, allowing emergency crews to evacuate thousands safely. Adebayo's work became a symbol of human ingenuity and courage, proving that even one person's creativity could save countless lives. In Tokyo, a team of high school students developed a simple but effective signal jammer, using materials from science labs. Their invention disrupted the alien sensors for several minutes, buying critical time for civilians to flee. News outlets across the globe celebrated these acts, showing that heroism was not limited to soldiers or scientists. Every human in their own way could fight back. Lena reflected on these stories, realizing that the human edge was not merely in technology but in spirit. Soldiers, engineers, students, and civilians alike were finding ways to turn weakness into strength. The aliens, for all their power, were beginning to understand that they were facing a species they could not predict or control. Even in the darkest moments, humans continued to show courage. In New York, volunteers helped those trapped in high-rise buildings, improvising ladders and ropes. In Mumbai, residents worked together to repair damaged communication lines, ensuring that warnings could reach everyone. In the rural United States, farmers and townspeople organized patrols to detect alien probes before they reached population centers. Amid these acts of bravery, Lena and her team focused on a larger goal: turning the aliens' rigidity against them on a global scale. Using the data collected from drone missions and signal reversal tests, they began developing strategies for coordinated attacks. Cities, towns, and space stations would not fight alone. Humanity would act as one. The first coordinated mission was planned carefully. Human ships equipped with signal reversal units would target alien drones threatening coastal cities. At the same time, ground teams would evacuate civilians and secure key infrastructure. It was a complex plan. But humans had shown that they could succeed when intelligence, courage, and creativity combined. On the day of the mission, tension filled the air. Pilots, engineers, and civilians alike understood the stakes. If the plan succeeded, it would demonstrate to the aliens that humans were more than prey. They were adversaries capable of strategic thinking. Lieutenant Cara Mendez led the operation from orbit. "Remember," she told her team, "we're not just reacting. We're creating opportunities. The aliens cannot predict creativity. That's our edge. Use it." The mission began smoothly. Human ships darted between alien drones, signal reversal pulses causing confusion. On the ground, civilians evacuated safely, guided by improvised communications networks. Engineers redirected energy beams away from cities, and small teams of volunteers helped repair critical infrastructure under fire. For the first time, humans were not only defending, they were taking the fight to the enemy. Alien drones faltered, their attacks misdirected and ineffective. In moments like these, humanity saw that strength was not just measured in firepower, but in intelligence, cooperation, and adaptability. Back on Earth, Lena watched the mission unfold on her monitors. Each successful maneuver, each civilian saved, each alien drone disrupted, was a reminder of what humans could achieve when they refused to be beaten. "This is what it means to be human," she said softly. "Not just to survive, but to fight with courage, to think, to adapt, and to protect each other. That is our true strength." As night fell, reports from around the world confirmed the success of the operation. Thousands of lives had been saved, alien attacks disrupted, and humans had proven that even a superior enemy could be challenged through ingenuity and bravery. Even the aliens seemed to recognize the change. Their communications were disrupted more often, and their drones hesitated in areas where humans had applied simple but clever defenses. It was clear that Earth was no longer a passive target. Humanity had learned, adapted, and begun to take control of its own destiny. In a quiet moment, Lena looked out of her lab window at the city below. The streets were alive with people helping each other, lights flickering as power grids stabilized, and the hum of human determination filled the air. The world had changed, and though the war was far from over, humanity had discovered something powerful. When united, creative, and brave, humans could overcome even the most terrifying odds. The aliens had thought that fear would paralyze Earth. Instead, it had awakened the human edge, courage, intelligence, and the relentless will to survive and protect one another. And somewhere beyond the stars, the alien fleet watched, realizing that Earth was not just a planet. It was a force to be reckoned with. Humanity was learning to fight not like machines, not like a single army, but like an unpredictable, creative species with one unyielding rule: they would not be conquered. The war was far from over, but the tide was beginning to turn. And in that turning, humanity discovered its most valuable weapon, itself. The alien fleet had assumed it would take months, perhaps years, to break humanity. Instead, humans had adapted in days. Across Earth, the stories of courage and ingenuity spread like wildfire. Small victories had become momentum, and momentum was turning into strategy. Dr. Lena Ortiz and her team worked around the clock, planning an operation that could change the course of the conflict. The target was the alien command ship, a massive vessel that coordinated attacks and monitored Earth's defenses. If humanity could disrupt it, even temporarily, the alien fleet would be vulnerable to coordinated strikes. "This will be our boldest move yet," Lena told her team, pointing at the holographic display. The command ship hovered beyond the orbit of Mars, surrounded by smaller drones and support vessels. "We can't destroy it outright. We're not strong enough yet, but we can confuse it, divide its forces, and buy time for Earth." Her assistant, Raj, nodded. "We can do it. The signal reversal units will give us the edge, and our pilots are ready. But this will be dangerous." "Dangerous is the point," Lena said. Humans aren't meant to avoid risk. We're meant to find solutions even in impossible situations. The mission required precise coordination. Human ships, modified for agility and speed, would approach the command ship from multiple angles. Signal reversal pulses would interfere with alien sensors, causing temporary blind spots. At the same time, teams on Earth would launch decoy signals to confuse the alien fleet, ensuring the command ship remained distracted. Across the globe, preparations were underway. Engineers in South Korea fine-tuned the signal reversal units. Civilians in Europe worked to ensure evacuation routes remained open in case of local attacks. Soldiers in the United States and Russia practiced maneuvers that relied on speed, flexibility, and human intuition rather than brute force. The first human pilots to leave Earth's orbit were tense but determined. Lieutenant Cara Mendes, leading the mission, addressed her team. Remember, we're not just pilots. We're part of something bigger. Every maneuver, every pulse of the signal reversal units, it all matters. Trust yourselves. Trust each other. And remember what it means to be human. The fleet moved into position. Lena watched from her lab as the ships approached the command vessel. The alien sensors picked them up instantly, and warnings spread across the alien fleet. But the humans had already predicted the response. The signal reversal units activated, sending pulses that scrambled the command ship's sensors and communications. The massive vessel hesitated, its drones momentarily directionless. Now, Kara shouted. Human ships darted between the alien drones, confusing and dividing them. Some ships fired carefully aimed pulses to overload alien sensors, while others lured drones into traps created by signal reversal pulses. The operation required split-second timing and complete trust between teams across space and Earth. On the ground, decoy signals amplified the effect, ensuring that the alien fleet could not concentrate on a single target. Cities were evacuated efficiently, and critical infrastructure remained intact. Civilians and soldiers alike watched the sky, ready to respond to any new threats. The operation lasted hours, but every move was precise. Alien drones faltered, some retreating entirely, while the command ship struggled to maintain control. Human ingenuity was winning against raw power, and for the first time, the aliens realized that their plans could be disrupted by creativity and courage. Back on Earth, Lena and her team monitored the operation. Every success brought a wave of relief. Every mistake, corrected immediately, demonstrated the flexibility of human intelligence. The signal reversal units had done more than confuse alien technology. They had forced the aliens to react, adapt, and ultimately expose weaknesses that humans could exploit. In the middle of the mission, a crisis emerged. A group of alien drones broke formation and targeted a civilian city in India. Without hesitation, volunteer teams activated emergency protocols. Drones were lured away using signal reversal pulses. Evacuation routes were reinforced. Civilians guided one another to safety, showing bravery that surpassed expectations. Thousands of lives were saved because humans acted not as individuals, but as a connected species, each person aware of the role they played in the larger operation. Humans aren't just unpredictable, Lena said to her team. We're coordinated in ways they can't even imagine. We fight with instinct, intelligence, and courage. That is something no machine can replicate. Meanwhile, Cara Mendes led her squadron closer to the command ship. They were running low on energy, their engines straining under constant maneuvering. The alien drones attacked relentlessly, but human pilots anticipated every move, adjusting formations and tactics in real time. The command ship, unable to maintain control, began to broadcast signals of confusion across its fleet. Human ships used the opportunity to strike with precision. Energy pulses misdirected alien weapons, drones crashed into one another, and small craft bypassed shields to collect critical data. Humanity was proving that coordination, creativity, and bravery could triumph over superior technology. On the ground, civilians continued to contribute. In Mexico City, engineers rerouted communications to support the mission. In Australia, volunteers monitored satellite feeds, relaying vital information to pilots and scientists. In rural Africa, children and teachers improvised signals to warn communities of incoming probes. Everywhere, humans acted together, showing that survival was not about strength alone, but about unity. The climax of the operation came when the command ship began to fire large energy beams at the human fleet. Using the data collected from previous encounters, Lena calculated the perfect timing for signal reversal pulses. The beams misfired, striking drones instead of human ships. The fleet's formation broke apart, and for a brief moment the command ship was exposed. "Target the weak points," Kara shouted. Human ships moved in unison, exploiting the openings created by the aliens' miscalculations. Drones were disabled, energy flows disrupted, and the command ship staggered under the pressure. It was a turning point. For the first time, humans had forced the alien command ship into retreat. It was not a total victory. The ship remained operational, but the psychological impact on both sides was profound. Humans realized that they could fight back. Aliens realized that they could be challenged. As the human fleet returned to Earth orbit, cheers erupted across command centers and cities worldwide. Civilians and soldiers alike felt a sense of empowerment they had never known. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had taken the fight to the enemy and forced them to falter. Lena allowed herself a rare smile. "This is what happens when humans refuse to be passive," she said. "We adapt. We think, we act, and even in the darkest moments we find a way forward." The alien fleet, now wary and confused, regrouped beyond Mars. They had underestimated humans, assuming fear and obedience. Instead, they faced a species that thought, created, and risked everything to survive. Humanity had turned a corner. The tide was shifting. In cities across the planet, people celebrated small victories. Survivors helped one another, repaired damaged infrastructure, and shared stories of bravery. Every citizen, whether directly involved in the operation or not, felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity was proving that even when faced with a technologically superior enemy, courage, creativity, and unity could make the impossible possible. Even as night fell, Lena and her team remained vigilant. The war was far from over, but humans had demonstrated their most powerful advantage, the ability to think differently, to adapt, and to fight together. The alien command ship had retreated, but its presence still loomed. Humans knew they had only scratched the surface of their potential. The coming days would require even greater coordination, courage, and ingenuity. But for now, the message was clear: Earth would not be conquered. Humans had found their edge, and somewhere beyond the stars, the alien fleet realized that Earth was not just a planet. They were facing a species that would never be easily defeated. Humanity had turned the tide. And predictable, clever, and united. Each small victory, each disrupted attack had chipped away at the illusion of invincibility the aliens carried. And now, humans were ready to take the fight to a larger scale. Dr. Lena Ortiz stood in the control room of the Earth Defense Coalition's headquarters. Screens showed live feeds from space, satellites, and drones scattered across the planet. The signal reversal units were fully operational, and the human fleet had grown stronger and more coordinated than ever. "We have the advantage now," Lena said, addressing her team. "They've underestimated us, and that mistake will cost them. This operation will show the universe what humans are capable of when we work together." The plan was ambitious. While small missions had disrupted alien drones and sensors, the new strategy involved simultaneous attacks across multiple fronts. Human ships, guided by real-time data, would target alien supply lines and smaller fleet units, forcing the aliens to divide their forces. On the ground, cities prepared to intercept probes and drones using every possible defensive and improvised tool. Lieutenant Cara Mendez prepared her squadron for the mission. "Remember," she told the pilots, "we're not just defending. We're forcing them to react. Every move they make will give us new opportunities. Stay flexible, think ahead, and trust your instincts." As the human fleet left orbit, Earth's atmosphere seemed to pulse with anticipation. Across the globe, civilians followed the operation closely. They were no longer passive observers. They were active participants. Engineers coordinated satellite relays. Volunteers ensured communication lines remained open, and people in communities were ready to evacuate or assist whenever needed. The first strike targeted an alien supply convoy near Jupiter. Using signal reversal units, human ships created illusions, making the convoy believe it was under attack from multiple directions. The alien vessels scattered, their formation disrupted. Human ships disabled key engines and communications, forcing the convoy to retreat. This success sent a clear message. Humans could not only defend, they could attack with precision and strategy. Meanwhile, on Earth, cities launched their countermeasures. In London, drones and signal jammers intercepted incoming alien probes. Emergency crews evacuated civilians efficiently, guided by improvised communication systems. In Tokyo, volunteers repaired damaged infrastructure while assisting in coordination between city sectors. In small towns and rural communities, people adapted old vehicles and tools to protect themselves, proving that no place was too small to contribute to humanity's defense. The aliens responded with force, launching a series of coordinated attacks on several human cities. Energy beams raked through the sky, but humans had anticipated these moves. Signal reversal pulses redirected some of the beams, while others were intercepted by drones or blocked by improvised shields. Civilians and soldiers worked side by side, proving that human adaptability could counter even the most advanced weaponry. In space, the human fleet targeted the alien drones attacking Earth's atmosphere. Small teams executed daring maneuvers, luring drones into traps while larger ships disabled communication lines. Each success provided more data, which Lena's team used to refine tactics and prepare for the next wave. One pilot, Sergeant Malik Reyes, executed a maneuver that would become legendary. He guided his ship through a narrow gap between two massive alien drones, deploying a signal reversal pulse that caused the drones to collide. The resulting explosion disabled a nearby fleet unit, providing crucial cover for human ships attacking supply lines. His courage and quick thinking saved thousands of lives on Earth and in orbit. On the ground, ordinary people continued to perform extraordinary acts. In Rio de Janeiro, a group of volunteers created a human shield to protect emergency crews repairing a critical energy line. In Cairo, engineers used old satellites to relay real-time positions of alien drones, allowing civilians to avoid danger zones. Every small act added to the larger effort, showing that humanity's strength lay not only in weapons, but in cooperation and ingenuity. The aliens, overwhelmed by the scale and unpredictability of human attacks, began to retreat. Their drones faltered, communication lines broke down, and supply units scattered. Humanity's combined efforts were proving that coordination, intelligence, and courage could overpower even the most advanced technology. Dr. Lena Ortiz monitored the operations closely. Each successful maneuver, each rescued city, each disabled drone was a testament to what humans could achieve when united. The signal reversal units had turned alien technology against them, but it was the human spirit, courage, creativity, and determination that had made victory possible. The tide of the conflict shifted further when human forces launched a surprise assault on an alien base near Saturn's rings. Using data collected from previous encounters, pilots navigated through asteroid fields and debris, avoiding detection. Signal reversal pulses confused the alien sensors, allowing humans to disable energy shields and gain access to critical systems. The base was not destroyed, but it was rendered inoperable, forcing the aliens to retreat and regroup. On Earth, celebrations were muted but meaningful. Families embraced, communities shared food and supplies, and volunteers continued to assist in recovery efforts. Humans had proven that courage and intelligence could overcome fear and destruction. Lena addressed her team in the control room. "This is what humanity is capable of," she said, her voice calm but proud. "We don't just survive. We fight, we adapt, and we protect one another. Every action matters. Every life matters. And together we are unstoppable." Lieutenant Cara Mendez reported from orbit. "The aliens are retreating in multiple sectors. Their supply lines are disrupted, and communication between fleets is unstable. We're gaining the upper hand." Across the globe, ordinary people watched these developments with hope and pride. Children learned the importance of teamwork and courage. Adults understood that even in the darkest times, humanity could rise above fear. Communities were no longer passive. They were active participants in the defense of Earth. The alien fleet, now wary and cautious, began to withdraw from several key positions. They had underestimated humans, assuming fear and obedience. Instead, they faced a species capable of creativity, coordination, and courage on a scale they had not expected. Even in retreat, the aliens launched attacks, but humans were prepared. Signal reversal units misdirected weapons, pilots anticipated movements, and civilians executed evacuation plans with precision. Humanity's ability to adapt and respond quickly made every attack less effective. Dr. Lena Ortiz reflected on the journey so far. From the first broadcast of destruction to the current counteroffensives, humans had proven that strength was not measured only by technology or numbers. It was measured by courage, intelligence, and unity. Every person, whether in space or on the ground, played a part in humanity's defense. As the sun set across Earth, lights from cities and towns glimmered like stars. Humans were alive, resilient, and prepared for whatever came next. The alien fleet had been forced to retreat in several areas, giving humanity a moment to breathe, regroup, and plan further operations. In private, Lena allowed herself a moment of reflection. "We've done more than fight back," she said softly. "We've shown that humans cannot be underestimated. We are not passive, weak, or predictable. We are strong, adaptable, and united. That is what makes us different. That is what makes us unstoppable." And somewhere in the vastness of space, the alien fleet realized that Earth was no ordinary planet. Humans were not merely a species to be conquered. They were a force capable of strategic thinking, creativity, and courage that no machine could predict or control. The war was not yet over, but humanity had discovered its true power. Every individual, from scientists and pilots to volunteers and civilians, had contributed to the success of the counteroffensives. Earth was alive with determination, and humans were no longer just survivors. They were fighters, innovators, and protectors. The coming days would bring new challenges, but one truth was now undeniable. Humanity had unleashed its full potential, and any force that underestimated Earth would soon learn a lesson it could never forget. Humanity had risen. Humans were no longer just defending, they were shaping the battlefield, and the universe would never view Earth the same way again.